A couple videos ago, I was going into the train wreck situation of Bam Margera and all the drama surrounding him running off into the woods and assaulting people and threatening a whole bunch of things. And today, I'm going to bring you the updates because there are certainly many updates. And I'd like to say things have gotten clearer, but that's not the truth. Things are more muddy and more dirty than they were a couple days ago. Hey, how's it going? If you're not really familiar with what's going on with this Bam Margera situation, I made a full video a couple videos back. You can go back and watch that if you want. But I'll give you a little summarized version right here. But before I do that, throw some pancake emojis down there in the comments. It feels dirty to say all that before talking about the stuff that we're going to talk about, but what's done is done. So all of this is allegedly, this is hearsay. It's hard to know the exact facts of what went down here, but I will give you the best rundown that I know of. So Bam Margera, famous MTV guy from back in the day, former Jackass star, he had his own show called Viva La Bam as well. This guy got to unprecedented levels of fame, okay? But over the last couple of years, he's been on a little bit of a downturn because he lost a friend. But since he was one of those big-time rich and famous guys, he bought himself a castle and he called it Casa Bam or whatever, and his brother was living in Casa Bam with him. And apparently, last week, Bam Margera went to his brother Jesse's room and started banging on the door, saying, if you call the cops, I'm gonna kill you or whatever. And then his brother went downstairs into the kitchen and apparently found Bam peeing in the sink. And apparently after this peeing incident, there was a physical altercation, after which Bam went running into the woods. Jesse called the cops and Bam was missing for 5 days after Jesse charged Bam for assault and 5 counts of terroristic threats. And that's kind of where the story left off last time. But Bam posted to his Instagram, which has now been deleted, this picture over here. Because after he was in the woods for 5 days, he apparently got his head clear and turned himself in to the police. He spent some time in jail, but then got out on $50,000 bail. So in that caption in the now deleted Instagram post, it says this: I just got out of the courthouse with my lawyers. Everything is great, and the false accusations of what my brother says are not true, and he will be sued for defamation as well as being evicted from Castle Bam sooner than later. Imagine going back to the house after all that drama and living with him still. That's crazy. The reason this happened is because I read his phone saying he wants me back in California and he wants to find a way to 302 me. Fuck him. Alright, so we're going back and forth with these Margera brothers, okay? Charging each other, threatening each other, time in jail, time in court, you name it. And if we just bounce on over here to Bam's Instagram, we'll notice that that picture has indeed been taken down. And he also posted this picture here, which I can't find anywhere else other than on this Daily Mail UK website over here, where it's a picture of Bam Margera outside of the urgent care, giving the middle finger to presumably his brother, because this apparently is a clean bill of health, okay? This guy does not have any drugs in his system, and he's just out here to prove this to everybody. Because what the narrative has been is that his brother, Jesse Margera, is all like, oh, Bam is dying and I care for him and I gotta put him in the hospital and stuff. And then Bam was like, no, that guy's evil and just wants to get rid of me so we can have my castle. And then last night, Jess Margera started kicking off on Twitter. And it looks like all of his little innocent claims of just looking out for his brother seem to be falling by the wayside when he says things like this: I might have permanent hearing damage from Bam's desperate lame-ass little attack while I was making coffee. If that's the case, all of my band's upcoming touring income he will be sued for, and I will fucking win. I'm not a fun enemy to have. So are you looking after him or are you an enemy? It seems like you're an enemy. And I'm Dan Frampton. I'm the preeminent expert on enemies here on the internet. And it looks like you guys are enemies and have a beef. And he wasn't quite done yet. He says, I wasn't going to press any charges at all, but his dumbass lawyer and surprise shitness talking. Shitness? What are you saying? And his surprise shitness? I'm gonna start this tweet again, and I'm just gonna read it what it says here, because this is what Jess Margera is putting out into the world. I wasn't going to press charges at all, but his dumbass lawyer and surprise shitness talking him into trying to sue me for whatever fake bullshit they are drooling at him is going to cost him a little bit of money if he left. Sorry, it's just the way that I am. Okay, so what I think that he's saying is I'm gonna sue you no matter what. I'm ruthless, and I don't care that you're my brother, and I don't care that you're going through stuff, and I'm just gonna take your castle from you. Sorry, that's just who I am. If you stab me with a knife, I will fucking end you with a Conan the Barbarian sword. Sorry, not sorry. Wow, okay, true. So it doesn't really seem like this guy's coming from a place of loving, caring, and empathy, because he goes on to also say this. The grand finale of Bam's funeral. Who starts a sentence like that? You're like wishing a funeral on your brother. This is crazy. Okay, the grand finale of Bam's funeral will be Jessica Ditzler. I wasn't sure who she was, but we'll get into that. She will have to go to the podium and explain herself to me, my parents, and Bam's son. So what is this? This is like a big guilt trip that you're trying to do? Because apparently Jessica, I had to go to Reddit to find out who it was, is Bam's current girlfriend. And this just seems like a big guilt trip for no reason. You know Bam's gonna die, right? And then when he does die, you're gonna have to get up there on that podium and look me in the eyes. She will have to go to the podium and explain herself to me, my parents, and Bam's son, who should be able to grow up with his father despite her best efforts. So the whole drama with this Jessica is apparently she's trying to keep Bam and Bam's kids away from one another, according to Jess Margera over here. And according to this Reddit post, she's also interfering with the intervention. So you're going back and forth. It doesn't seem like there's a good guy in this story. It just seems like a total mess. You got Jess, you got Jessica, you got Bam Margera, you got assaults, you got lawsuits, you got stints in jail, you got being posted on bail, Twitter threats, and guilt trips. And I know Bam is going through a whole lot. He still is after all these years, after losing his friend. And if his brother's not genuinely concerned, someone's gotta be. And when they kicked him off of Jackass, inevitably, Steve-O was like, you're killing yourself and it's sad to see. We just want to see you get better. But here we are in 2023 and shit's just got worse. And I'm trying to think, what would be the positive outcome? Because there's so many negative ways that this could go, but what would be the one that you're rooting for? What would be the outcome that we'd actually celebrate? Because if this picture is to be believed, if he really doesn't have any drugs in his system, and that's the reason why Jessica is blocking the intervention, because it's unnecessary because the guy's sober and clean, well then that's great. And it's so hard to know who's right and who's wrong. But I will say, I'm gonna throw in my 2 cents here. I really just want Bam to be well. I'd love him to get back to skateboarding. It would be great if he could become friends with all the Jackass crew again. But he and his family are a total dysfunctional mess. And maybe he's doing all this as a big 4D chess move to get a reality show to dig themselves out of the hole or whatever, because this is a pretty good pitch for a crazy reality show. But something tells me I'm grasping at straws and I'm thinking that. All right, so that's where we're at with this. Throw some pancakes down there in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell if you're cool as hell, and until my next upload, you can watch another upload.